Oh, you've upset him now.
Says we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the book discussion of Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This is what my copy looks like. Katie has a different copy.
I got
I
the
don't
English.
have a copy.
And Sam has an imaginary cover.
Just imagine this big cone of yarn being the book. That's fine.
See? There you go. All right. Are we doing our dramatic synopsis today?
I mean, yes.
I demand it.
She demands.
Okay. Chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott will be the first to point out that there's no such thing. But it's the early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute take a very unscientific view of equality, except for one, Calvin Evans, the lonely, brilliant, Nobel Prize nominated grudge holder who falls in love with, of all things, her mind. True chemistry results. But, like science, life is unpredictable, which is why, a few years later, Elizabeth Zott finds herself not only a single mother, but the reluctant star of America's most beloved cooking show, Supper at 6. Elizabeth's unusual approach to cooking, combine 1 tablespoon acetic acid with a pinch of sodium chloride, proves revolutionary. But as her following grows, not everyone is happy, because as it turns out, Elizabeth Zott isn't just teaching women to cook, she's daring them to change the status quo. Meet the unconventional, uncompromising Elizabeth Zott.
Well done. Well done.
No, thank you.
So, what formats did we have? And what was the rating?
I think I did, going back a little bit, I did ebook and audiobook. And I gave it 4.5 stars.
I had the physical and audio, and I think I did 3.5 stars. All right, then.
When you clean your camera.
Because I don't know, like maybe during my dramatic reading, I was like, "There's loads of spit on the screen." That's disgusting.
You enunciating a little too hard.
Yuck. So I mostly listened to this on audiobook. Actually, I don't think I physically read it. I had the book, but I was enjoying the audiobook. But rating, let's have a look. Yeah, it was a 5-star.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, but there was just something about it felt like it was missing, so that's why I didn't get a 5 stars, but it did get 4.5.
Well, on Corpile, I just the ones I gave 9s to was plot, intrigue, and enjoyment and logic. So it was still a 5-star. It just wasn't like it was like a 9.43.
Characters. Do we have a favorite character?
I do have to say Elizabeth. I felt like I could relate to her more, like throughout the story, and empathize with her situation. So
it was an interesting time period. I mean, women in science in the 1960s was almost unheard of. So definitely intriguing to see how she went about it, or and what she had to deal with, especially when when like men tried to come on to her or say, "Oh, well, we can get you though so far, but you have to," and I'm like, ew.
Yeah. And I always enjoy historical fiction too, so like it's kind of like between like fantasy and like recently some like generational like contemporary novels. Historical fiction has always been up there as a favorite genre for me. So I think that's kind of helped get it a higher rating for me because it really felt like really immersed in that decade. The way that descriptions were, I felt like I was really in that period. So
Yeah. It wasn't bad, like, because I don't really like historical fictions. Like, they don't get along. Me and I don't get along with historical fictions. But this one wasn't bad. I think because of the more science-based stuff in the book, it didn't, like, I didn't think about the historical factor. So with the focus of science, that's where it kept my attention.
but
Do you have a least favorite character?
the main,
What's the name of that man?
yeah, the main chemist that she always had to deal with, like her boss or whatever.
Oh, oh gosh, I don't remember what his name was. I'm trying to find it.
I think it starts with a B. At least I'm wanting to say it starts with a B.
A B?
Yeah,
Hmm.
could be totally misremembering it, but I, for some reason, I'm wanting to say it starts with a B.
Oh gosh.
I also did not care for um the like secretary lady that was in it as well.
Frask? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Donati? Was that his
Yeah.
last name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that you said it, I'm like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't like him. He was the sleazeball of the book.
Yeah, because he like stole her work and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
And wasn't he the one that was trying to come on to her at one point? Or that was a different one? That wasn't the one she stabbed in the intestines with a pencil.
No,
That
was
was another one that was trying to like.
that was like a professor of hers, I think.
yeah, when she was
that
in
was-
university or something, I think, or college, whichever.
I want to say that was in the beginning, the professor part.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it kind of went backwards, forwards at the beginning, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Brie Larson plays Elizabeth in the TV show.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
No,
Because
I've
it's
not
on
watched it.
Apple TV, and I don't have an Apple TV subscription. Apple TV and Amazon Prime.
Oh, I probably won't be able to watch it then. I don't know if I have Prime. I know I don't have Apple TV.
I also really liked the dog, Six.
Oh yeah,
Because like he and like how he could like talk as well, like in the book too.
so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
I did actually like her partner as well, the one that died,
Calvin.
Calvin. Yeah,
And the neighbor, Mrs. Pine. I don't know if they ever said her first name.
Not it wasn't Pine. It was Harriet.
Yeah, Walter Pine was the teacher, wasn't he?
He was
is that the one
the parent, sorry, of Amanda? Was it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
TV producer
Oh, okay.
or director or whatever. The TV guy.
Well, then who am I thinking of? What's her name?
It was probably Harriet that you're thinking of.
Yeah, she did have a neighbor that was like she became good friends with, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was quite cool too. Like she was kind of like that.
I like how she just kind of asserted herself, and she was like, "If you ever need me, I'm here." Because I don't want to be at my house.
And has she had like a deadbeat husband?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, she was like, I don't want to be around him.
Yep. The plot. What do we think of the plot?
I really enjoyed it, but I also I like the stories that you follow certain characters through like a period of time. I enjoy those types of stories, so I really liked it. And having it based in like science is a different point of view because I don't think I've actually read very many books that's based in like the science like field before. So it was nice to have a different point of view.
Other than this one, I think the Ali Hazelwood like STEM books, those are kind of science based, but not in depth in science like this one.
Yeah.
So that was different.
It seems like all the historical fictions that I tend to like read are more in like I read a lot of like World War II ones and like rude. And trying to think of like the Victorian era type of historical fiction, not so much like the 60s. The sushi roll that Harry loves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a mother.
He was like, damn you.
Yeah, that poor kitty. Shame.
Yeah, he scared the shit out of me and Harry earlier when he got up. I'm over here like knitting away, reading. Harry's asleep in the corner, and then he comes in and just like, what'd you say? You barely
Sleepy boy.
Yeah, just sleepy boy. And me and Harry both go not paying attention whatsoever.
Whoops.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of more like also they had the rowing. That was in the book.
Did any of you listen to the audiobook?
I did.
Did you have a little bit at the end of it where there's a little interview with the author?
I don't think it did it. I think it just stopped at the end because it was through my library.
Yeah, mine did. Because I know like I switched to listening to the audiobook when I was playing video games. So I was really.
The only thing that mine had was it did have like the because mine I have the exclusive edition, so there's a bonus content. There was like an extra chapter or something called 6:30 and the Moms. So I had that.
Yeah, I don't recall if the ebook had anything extra at the end of it, but I know the audiobook, the one that I got from my library, did have the author interview with it.
Yeah, because I listened to the author interview at the end of it. It's only like 5 minutes or something. But like she was talking about like her research and stuff like that, and like what she put from her life into the book and things like that, and why she named the dogs. Was it 6:30 or whatever it was?
Yeah,
6:30, yeah.
And things like that. So it was quite interesting because I think it made me kind of like the book more, I suppose, like hearing all the research she did in that. So like Yeah. But yeah, it's quite interesting because in the plot we've got like the rowing, we got like, the fact that there's like all this sexism with, females and the
Yeah,
science as well, and also like with things like marriage and then like her partner dying, and they never got married, didn't they? I think from
yeah. I was
They didn't
frustrated
want to
about
get
the way that
married.
he died.
He
Though.
didn't, yeah.
so like, and then like I must admit, I remember like in the plot when it was just like he died, and I was just like, what? Like I had to like reread it, like what? How
Yeah,
can you just go for a walk with the dog and then just
like it's like I know it can happen if you hit your head hard enough, but it's still like that to me. That was like really the main thing that kind of frustrated me was just how easy it was to kind of kill them all.
Right.
yeah, and also like with her dealing with the grief of that too, like
But didn't he also, when he like hit his head, didn't he also get hit by a vehicle?
It was a police car, I think.
Like, didn't they run over him when he fell because they didn't see him?
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was like a driver or something, wasn't there?
I'd be suing that police department.
But yeah, there's a lot going on in the book that like that's why I kind of liked it, I think, because it dealt with quite a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's why I liked Elizabeth Sott character too, because she's dealing with the grief of that, she's dealing with like even with the cooking, like
Raising a
like
child. And,
she's trying to be herself but being told to do it a different way, and she's just like, I'm not that sort of person,
Well, and then she also has like the background of her parents being like evangelical Christians. Like her dad is supposed to be like one of those guys that goes on TV and preaches to get like for money and all that stuff, and then her brother commits suicide after being like coming out as gay and being rejected by the family.
yep.
So she has that trauma that kind of influences her thinking
like
as well.
she just goes through a lot, like, and just for her to be so like headstrong, like I just really admire her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I remember like with the interview with the author, she was like, you can't not say like her full name when you say her. She has to be Elizabeth Sott. You can't say Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like she has to be Elizabeth Sott.
Yep.
And I just love her, like, the reasoning that, like, and oops, I named my daughter Mad instead of having, like, actually, like, a full name. The only reason why she named her Mad is because she was mad that she had to go through this whole thing herself.
Yeah. I'm glad she kind of like figured out like I was mad when I named her, but that could be short for Madeline. So
Yeah.
it sort of worked out. But I know she didn't intend it to be that way.
Yeah.
Do we have a favorite part or least favorite part?
I like the scene where she like for the beaker like goes and just takes the beaker.
Oh, yeah, when she just,
Like when she first meets him, like it's just
she's like, F you guy, I'm just getting this stuff. I'll get this stuff. I'm gonna get the stuff.
I'm just gonna take this beaker. It's mine.
Yep. It was a box of beakers, I think, wasn't it?
What? Yeah, and she was
She's like, I need these, thank you.
Yeah. And thus started the relationship.
Yep.
And I just liked seeing Mad's relationship with like the neighbor and like their little family that they ended up creating like over time with Walter and all that stuff. How she wasn't really like she never really understood what her mom did for a living with the cooking show until like Harriet took her to see a showing or something like that.
Oh yeah, when they snuck in, they're like, "Oh, she'll never know we're here. They can't see us."
I always wondered, like, when I was reading or listening, and I was like, is something going to happen between, like, is Elizabeth Sott and this Walter Pine guy? Because they have, like, this really interesting friendship, don't they? Like,
I just like how she kind of just embarrasses him by being so blunt with her words. Like, and he's just like all squeamish, like, and like, no.
I don't know. It just makes you think, like, down the line, like, you know, I mean, I know she's obviously grieved over her partner, but, like, years down the line, whether something will happen, I don't know.
Well, doesn't he get together with Harriet at the end?
I can't remember.
Well, she was still married to her husband, right? Or did they finally separate?
I think they finally separated, or she was going through the process of getting divorced. At least that's what I thought. I have the Spark Notes up for this book. Let me see.
I would have to go back and look at the last few chapters, but I'm trying to think.
So, that would be an interesting relationship.
Yeah. I kind of like the scene where was it Elizabeth, and she went to go talk to the producer guy, and he was trying to come on to her, and then all of a sudden she had like turned the tables, and then next thing you know, he's no longer, like, he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she has that kind of effect on people. She just went in there and she stayed calm the whole time, and he's yelling and screaming, and then all of a sudden he had a heart attack, and then he was like, nope, he's not coming back to the studio, which then put the other guy in charge.
I think as for the scene that I didn't really like, I just didn't like the scene with Zot, like, where she's quite horrible with the other colleagues to her.
Yeah.
Just made me mad. I mean, I know it's intentionally meant to make you mad, but, like, it's just like, why? Like, leave her alone.
Yeah, I don't think I had any one particular scene that I didn't like. I didn't like the way that she was being treated, though. Like how, like, when Calvin passed, it was very quick for them to say, oh, well, you're no longer protected by Calvin. Here's your box of shit. Get out.
Yeah, like, especially when she was, like, pregnant.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, well, sorry, can't help you. Bye.
And that was the reasoning that they were, quote unquote, firing her, was because she was no longer under Calvin's protection and she was pregnant. And they couldn't have a pregnant scientist in the facility.
What are we doing with those?
And I'm like, well, why not? But again, this was the 1960s, so
I'm okay, thank you.
It was hard for them to even to have women scientists back then was almost unheard of.
But I'm glad she stuck her guns and.
Yeah, I can't find exactly if Walter and Harriet get together, like, in the full book summary, but at the end it brings up, I forgot about the ending when Elizabeth meets Avery Parker, the founder of the foundation that had been trying to get a hold of Calvin throughout his whole life because she was his mother, that they were separated because she was an unwed mother at the time when she had him, and he was just taken away from her and put in an orphanage.
Oh, and I forgot about, there was that guy that was the pen pal.
Yeah.
With Calvin. There's so many characters, and even if they play like a minute part in the story, you almost forget about them. But they did have a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just found it interesting how Frask ends up being, like, with the main
no, it's
Oh,
at the
the
end.
little kid was around.
yes.
Say that again.
Trask, the secretary chick, how she was a nuisance throughout the most of it, and then in the end she ends up being the boss.
Oh yeah. And the fact that I think she left the facility, but then she was a typist for something else.
Yeah,
Ended up
I think she was a typist for the priest.
Is that what it was?
I think so. I think that's how those two are connected. Because Mads ends up meeting her at one point because she went to go visit the priest. Because Mads met the priest at the library when she was looking into doing like the family tree.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Our next question is: would you reread?
I would. After enough time in between, I definitely would.
And this one's a standalone, right? So there's no like other books and like it's not a series.
Yes,
Yeah.
standalone, yeah.
Okay. I imagine they could do like not necessarily a series, but do like same books in the universe but different characters. I think that would be interesting. Would you buy this for someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom would actually enjoy this.
I don't know if I would buy it for anyone, but I would recommend it.
Yeah.
If you like this, then read this.
Yeah, if I knew someone that needed something like different, because this is like one of those books that I would never have picked it up if it wouldn't have been for the book club. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not the sort of book that I would normally pick up, you know.
Yeah. It's definitely like a double titled book in a way that like lessons in chemistry, meaning the science chemistry, but lessons in chemistry of like two different people. So it has double meaning.
And I forgot, like, when I'm trying to figure out if Harriet and Walter get together, one of, like, a screenrent.com talks about, like, spoilers from lessons in chemistry, and I forgot that Elizabeth declared herself as an atheist on live TV.
Oh, yeah, she did.
That was right. Yep. Because I think somebody had asked a question or something, and that was
Yeah, it was the
part of her
Q&A,
answer.
wasn't it? Yeah. And then
Mhm.
she was like, well, I'm an atheist. And they're all like,
Yeah, and it does, like, this one post does say that Harriet and Walter began a relationship,
Oh.
and
See,
she decided to divorce her sexist
and the
husband.
plot thickens.
Now we need that story. So if she were to write that book, the next question is, would you read another book by the author?
Well, yeah, like if she did expand on other characters or even more about Calvin's past, or I don't know. Or Elizabeth Scott would be quite an interesting character to read about, actually.
And this was a debut.
Not Elizabeth Scott. Frask.
Yeah. If we could have more of her story. This was a debut for the author.
That's what it's looking like based on her Goodreads page.
I think it is.
It's just listing lessons in chemistry.
Wow, still moving my Xbox.
Did she?
Yeah, it was like an angle, like it was knocked off the stand.
I love how like the author's name of her dog is 99.
Yeah, I was just looking at that because it says for the author's, like, I guess, little blurb or whatever. It says that she's a copywriter and creative director who has worked widely in the fields of technology, medicine, and education. She's an open water swimmer, a rower, and a mother of 2 pretty amazing daughters. She was born in California and most recently from Seattle. She currently lives in London with her husband and her dog 99. So that ties in the education and the
The
medicine part, the
And
rowing, and then she has a number for her dog's name. So that's kind of interesting. And she kind of did that with the story.
concept, if you start like when you're a child and you just name all your pets by numbers, you can be easy to track how many pets you've had throughout your whole life if you just named it by number.
You are 1, you are 2. I don't know what number he would be. What number are you, Ralphie? Because
Nah,
I don't, but I
He's
want to
not
sound
nappy bum.
Yeah.
I just love his little nappy.
Gary's just passed out over here in this sunbeam.
He's getting, we're starting to have to put like a little piece of medical tape over the Velcro. Otherwise, he figures out how to take it off. He's getting smart, but he won't use the litter box. Yes, I'm talking about
He
you.
thinks he's human.
Well, then maybe I
Yeah, you
should
just need
train
one of
him.
those things for your toilet that like you just off squat in the toilet.
Yep, I need to train him to be toilet trained. Let's see. Next question was, would you like another book from this world?
Yeah.
I think with the different characters, we could probably get different perspectives too. So yeah, that would be fine.
I would like a story from Harriet's point of view.
Ooh, that would be interesting. And what books would you recommend that are similar?
I haven't read anything that's similar to this.
Well, not necessarily a historical aspect, but if you're going off of the science stuff, I would say the Ali Hazelwoods. Love Theoretically, Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain. Those
You
were all
want more
similar.
contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's.
This is really like one of those. It's like science based, but it's not contemporary. It's more historical fiction. So
I'm trying to think of.
It's like a unique book in itself, isn't it?
it is. It's
And
hard
I think
to.
that's why it just went down so well and made a TV series. I've not watched the TV series. I need to, really.
One of these days, I will find it and watch.
Trying to look at like some historical fiction stuff like on Goodreads just to see what I read that I could recommend because nothing is popping up in my brain or that's like around the same topic as this. Google.
I'm just Googling books to read if you loved lessons in chemistry.
That's what I had just started doing.
Well, because you don't really hear much.
And all the historical fictions that I've read are definitely older.
Apparently, Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin is.
Yeah, I saw that, but I haven't read that yet, so I can't really say if it's a good fit or not.
Yeah, I've not read any of these books that they've said.
Let's see. I kind
I
of
like how
did.
Goodreads recommends "The Woman in Me" by Britney Spears.
How does that have anything to do with?
Yeah.
There's a book called Chemistry.
Mhm.
That's saying if you like lessons in chemistry, that would be a good one. Or The Personal Librarian.
Apparently, Carrie Soto is back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, they're saying.
The Woman with the Cure by Lynn Cullen.
Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. That's the one that you read, Liam.
Oh, the octopus one.
The Octopus.
Cute book.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a bit like Lessons in Chemistry?
I don't know. I haven't read lessons in chemistry.
Well,
Laura said the Dictionary of Lost Words.
I would say it was a good book.
Would you say there's science in it?
A little bit. It's
Yes,
science
it's-
about the octopus, yeah. Not a huge amount, but a little bit.
The Woman by Kristen Hanna.
there's one-
Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, apparently.
See,
There's
you
one,
never realize how much you like don't read certain titles until you go to try to recommend a similar book.
Yeah.
Or something like. Really doesn't feel like I read anything now that I'm looking at all these books and I'm like, I haven't read that. Oh,
I
the Rosie Project is one. I did
I
read
have
the
one
Rosie
on
Project.
my shelf, but I haven't read it yet. It's called Lab Girl. Apparently, that's a memoir about a botanist.
Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I've heard of that one.
The Rosie Project by, I'm not sure how you say the name. It's Gehrman Simpson? I'm not sure. But it's the main character is a geneticist, and he's not good at following social cues or conversation, but he's looking for a partner who he can understand. So he develops what he calls the Wife Project. And then he meets Rosie.
Interesting.
And I think this is like a trilogy, if I'm remembering correctly, but I did read the first book, and I did enjoy it when I read it a few years ago. But I knew there was something science-wise that I had read. I just could not, for the life of me, like dig up the name.
Yeah, on Reddit, quite a few people have said Remarkably Bright Creatures. And Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, apparently. And Kristen Hanna's books. They're the ones that are popping up.
I think it's really remarkable.
So there's some out there.
No, this is if you've read the book, what would you recommend that's similar? Not you should read the book.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, the Rosie Project's popped here, yeah. Graham Simsian.
If you've
Yeah,
read
that one
this
is
one, you might try. I believe that is all for our questions.
Yeah.
Any other things that you can think of for the book?
Not that I can think of. If I am able to at least get access to one of the streaming services the show is on, I would be interested in watching the show. Seeing it-
The book Hermit says the Dictionary of Lost Words was the title that's got similar themes as well.
Yeah.
all I've learned while going through all that is that I need to read more, apparently.
Yeah, it's like going for the list. Like, I've seen this one, I don't own it. I've seen this one, I've not read it. Don't know that one.
Might have to add a couple of these to my list.
But I am slacking. What a bad booktuber.
Look what
I
you've
am.
done, Alicia, with your book suggestion.
I am broadening your horizons.
I mean, it was on my list to begin with. She just pushed it forward a bit.
See?
Yeah.
I helped.
This was a book that I picked up from one of those free bookshelves in the cafe. Like, I was just like, oh, it's the special one with the periodic table thing on it as well.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I'll take that.
Mine's blue for the pages, but then I have the periodic table on the inside.
Ooh, I think there's a
And I don't have any fancy.
yeah, there's a
copies.
table on the inside of this one too, colorful.
See, I like yours. It's more colorful. Mine's all yellow.
Yeah, this is the English one. I think this is the special edition one. I'm not sure, like whether it's or whether it was the first hardback edition. I'm not sure. It was a good book overall. I'm glad I read it.
That's kind of my thing. Like, I'm glad I read it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't like what I would call a favorite of mine. Usually my favorites get 5 stars, and it's been a while since I had anything that hit a 5-star. I think the last 5-star I had was House of Flame and Shadow. And that was at the beginning of the year.
This is why I have like a 6-star rating thing. Because like 6 stars to me is like the ultimate. I call it ultimate Katie star, but like it's the 6-star rating that's like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. Ah! Like, but this one was like, yeah, this is really good. I'd recommend it. Blah blah. You know,
The thing is, I haven't felt like super obsessed with a book in a good while. Like everything's been kind of, I liked it. It was good. Like with this one, I did think about it for a good while, and just talking about it more made me remember more of the plot. So I definitely is one that I know I enjoyed since I started remembering more. But it's just nothing has wowed me lately, and it's been kind of sad.
I know what you mean though, because like there's only like certain books that in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite books ever. Like,
And I think my average, according to my spreadsheet's been like for the year, like 3.5 for most of my books. Let's see. Yearly stats.
I would have to go back to the book.
Yeah, 3.5.
I don't know what my last 5-star read is.
I only have 3 5-stars for the year. Secret History of Witches, which was a reread, so my rating didn't change. Kitchen Table Tarot and House of Flame and Shadow.
I know House of Flame and Shadow was a 5-star for me. I feel like I may have had more after that, but it's not like a... It was a 5-star, but not like a, wow, that was... And I still think about it type.
Yeah.
5-star. I think
It's just that out of 135 books that I've read this year, only 3 of them have been 5 stars.
wow.
we gotta find you some more 5-stars.
My average is a 4.5 rating, or an 8.23 to be exact.
I have read approximately 22,599 pages this year.
Wow.
And approximately 106.73 hours listened to, 13 rereads, acquired 59 books, and checked out about 60 library books.
I do not have those kind of statistics. Nope.
This is why I have Corpal to work it out for me.
This is why I have Allie's fancy 5-year book spreadsheet. Spreadsheet that I use. Because I like seeing all these fancy graphs because, let's see. I'll share my screen real quick. Look at all these graphs.
Goodness.
The graphs.
And this is just for this year too.
Mm.
I have it all ready to go for the next few years.
Wow.
She also did a bookshelf thing, but I will.
That's kind of cool.
I need a bigger bookshelf apparently. But yeah, my sad 5-star reads. Only the 3.
It makes me wonder, like, I should probably go back and look through mine and see.
I've read more series than standalones this year so far.
Yes.
But I think that's mostly the book club as well. Like, we've read quite a few sequels, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Yeah,
helped.
we've been doing every other month, I think.
It's either that or I've started a new series.
Where is my series tracker? Yeah. Part of a series, 94, standalone, 41.
My most popular genre is contemporary. Then it's fantasy.
I think I've...
Mine is fantasy. 32 in fantasy.
Mm.
I
I've
spend
been
way
reading
too much
mostly
time.
romance.
Huh?
Too much time on it.
Yeah. I'll pull it up at work sometimes and just like enter in whatever I finished reading for the day. If I haven't like enough time in between work stuff, I'm like, I look at this thing way too much. It's probably not that healthy.
I've read a lot of releases from this year, actually. 9 so far.
I believe Twitter is where we just post what we're reading and we do like the polls for everyone helping us choose books. And then we just kind of do the discussions here on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, we could probably each like post what like books that we're reading in our community pages as well.
Yeah. I need to get better about like posting things on Instagram. So I could probably do that too. And then put a link to the Twitter in there.
It's just this year has been a lot. So my brain's kind of like, I'll just simplify things. That's why some of it be moved to Discord because I couldn't be bothered to do another live show, considering how far behind I am on my own books.
We could probably create an Instagram too. That way we can post the books and maybe do like the links to the discussions that way too.
Yeah, okay.
You have given us food for thought, Laura. Any other comments, questions, concerns about lessons in chemistry? Do we
Not that
know?
I can think of.
Say that again.
So not that I can think of.
No.
The next book that we will be reading
Well, the one that we're reading now
is this one.
Crown of Gilded Bones.
Look at the pretty editions.
I know.
I jealous. I don't even have a copy of this book.
Great one.
But that's the cover I have, I think.
I don't
Mine's
even
a-
have the book. I have to borrow it from the library.
But do we know whose channel and what day?
I think it's mine.
Yeah, I believe it's Katie's time.
And I think we said November 23rd, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Saturday, November 23rd, when we'll all be 1 hour back in time.
Yes.
Same time, but 1 hour earlier.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is also the Saturday before our Thanksgiving in the US.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yup.
So,
Let me actually put the thing on that date now before I forget.
I have it penciled in. I just have to make it like confirmed.
But we've
It's on
got
his birthday.
books sorted for the rest of the year anyway. So, like, this one is. What did we say
So
this
then,
one? I'd have to look at this.
Got the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which if you have a Kindle, it's on a Kindle deal for $2.99 right now. That's how I got
Yep.
it.
so the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. That's November.
Yeah.
And then December, we decided on Bookshops and Bone Dust
Bone Dust, yeah.
by Travis
Because I
Bulger.
have that book and I need to get my butt in here and read it.
Is the
I got it, I think, last.
Legends and Lattes the prequel, isn't it? The prequel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have done a live show on Legends and Lattes, so
I'll be sure to put that in the description when I go back and.
yeah, on my channel I do have a reading by candlelight playlist for any past lives. So if you ever wanted to look back at our lives,
Being all
feel free.
on top of everything.
Well, I did it this near the start, and I was like, I've got to do it because otherwise, like, how are we going to find all of them? Because we all share the chat, like the live. So I just
That's true.
like, I'll add that.
That is very true. We should probably all have a playlist of all of them, but I will get there.
I have been needing to edit for the last 2 weeks of like some ongoing vlogs, and I have yet to do that. So I am not the most on top of anything YouTube lately.
Let me
So
make sure that I've made it public, though, because I want to. Yes,
Which
it
one
is.
have you read,
Public
Laura?
playlist. Let's see if
And
I
the
can.
whole series?
Can I share it? Oh, look at us 1 year ago.
Gosh.
Wow. Let's see. Can I share the playlist? Where is that?
I don't know.
I need to link to it.
If it won't let you, you can put it in the private chat, and then I can put it in the comments.
Yeah, I was just seeing if I could. Playlist saved in the library. I'm just want to see if I can share it.
But that is our reading for the rest of the year. I'm excited for both of these books. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and Bookshops and Bone Dust. And I think they're
Yeah.
relatively quick reads.
Found it. Cool. Let's see
My
if it will
Pumpkin
let me.
Spice Cafe is 357 pages.
Okay. You might have to like copy and paste it, but that should be the playlist.
Did it turn up as a link or no?
I don't know,
There's the playlist.
but I'm sure you can like copy and paste it.
True.
What was our first one? Oh my god.
Oh, I don't remember actually.
Like the first book we ever
It's
did.
going for me Thunderhead, but I don't know.
No, it was before that because we also did Scythe. Or are you talking about just for this year?
Maybe I didn't put Scythe in the. Oh no, there's our Legends and Lattes book discussion from Blood and Ash.
I have a list somewhere. I've kept tabs of all the books that we've read. I'll have to go back and look. All right. Anything else?
I like how that just
No.
did not do what I wanted it to do. Okay, whatever. Fix it later.
We have the next book and the next discussion, Katie's channel called The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout on November 23rd.
Yep.
I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. And then hopefully you guys will continue to read with us and hang out and discuss books and all of the finer things in life. All of the things.
Really celebrate that. And all the finer things in life.
All of the books. They are the finer things in life. And we will see you guys next time.
In a
Thanks for
month.
hanging out, and we'll see you next month. We'll do this again soon. Bye.